And we're live. Hey, Adam.
Hey, Paul, what's going on, man? Happy Saturday. What is today?
I got so many messages on where are you? It's
People have been
Friday.
asking, a bunch of people have been asking me.
No, it was mostly because we were tired. Got a lot to do in the
Still
office
am.
lately.
So we're going to have to shut this down.
Yeah, that's true. That as
Just
well.
teasing. Just teasing. Thanks, folks, for joining us on this fine Saturday. We stepped away from our cartoons, our morning cartoons. Sorry for interrupting yours.
You know what's more fun than cartoons? Securities talk.
Yeah.
Let's make sure it's hit the live. It
That's
is. It is.
fact.
The internet has accepted us. I don't really trust the StreamYard live red square. So, I mean, not like I would do anything if it wasn't live.
Trust but verify.
Yeah,
We'll
that's
call
right.
that.
So, Adam, if it is the first Saturday we've done this before, what does that mean?
It's time to learn a little after not learning anything yesterday afternoon, late evening, Friday.
Yes. So, we, like the ticker tells you, if you are stacking money or cheddar or dough,
Emoji.
you need to do it right because otherwise it's really not great for you or your investors or the project or your tenants or anybody. So we're going to talk about three high level, what we think to be very high level, but very important parts to deciding how to do all that, doing it well, and also not getting yourself in too much trouble.
Oh, that was weird.
That
Joe,
was weird. What? Oh,
my
oh,
light
you're
guy.
the light guy? Yeah, it's hard to find good work or good help anymore.
It sure is, especially on a Saturday morning at
Yeah.
9:39.
Well, I think it's time and a half for a Saturday. So he's earning.
Hurry, let's get this thing rolling.
Let's get this thing rolling.
So the first thing you should do is consult a trusted legal advisor. Right, Paul?
That boy, Adam, you really knocked it out of the park. Somebody read the Facebook post this morning, or put it in the private chat. And this doesn't mean you need to hire us clowns to do your work, but you need to have somebody that's done it before. It's kind of a weird animal until you go through it a few times. So you need to ask your legal advisor, whether it's somebody that's handled a lot of your work in the past, whether he or she's done all your kind of business transaction stuff, set up your startups and done all that, the securities paperwork, the follow up, all that. That's the stuff that requires a little know-how, and you want to make sure they've done it before. Adam, what else is important?
And I'll just say, if
deciding?
you have a regular person and they or you are not comfortable with them handling it in the full, just find somebody to tag team with. Somebody who's done it, and lawyers do that all the time.
This is what we did when somebody smart and valuable and important asked us to do it. We said we have no idea. So we tagged it. We found a guy who's done a lot.
Right. That's right. So second,
wait, but go back to that lawyer. Make sure it's someone. We tell people this all the time. I mean, no one gets along with us, but we tell people all the time, find a lawyer that you like talking to, you don't mind answering the phone, isn't a total drag. There are a lot of drag lawyers out there, and drag by being boring. I don't mean drag like maybe the internet drag. But make sure it's someone you like talking to, because that's important. Because these projects, it's very back and forthy for while you're in kind of a tough spot, closing up deals and raising money and all that. So,
yep. Good point. Great dynamic drop in. And number two, you got a lawyer. Number two is have a plan. So you want to get specific on what security you are selling. In other words, what you're offering investors. How are you making that appealing? What are the numbers? How do the numbers work out for them? How are you going to pitch this to them? So those are some of the questions you should be thinking about when you're thinking about how you're putting together the project and what you're going to be selling. And so the type of offering you're giving, the investment returns you hope to get. One of the things you're doing in all this is recognizing you can't say things like you guarantee this is going to happen. You think this is going to happen. You're projecting this is going to happen, but don't say silly things like you guarantee it, because that just doesn't happen in real estate with all the different factors. So what's the investment? What are the returns you're projecting? Preferred returns, equity, that type of thing. Second element of this question with a plan is who. So that's the what. What are you offering? Who are you offering it to? Are they going to be people who are accredited or people who are accredited and unaccredited? In other words, you have to figure out those definitions. Essentially, it's a person who has enough wealth or income to get less protections from the SEC in some ways. They're not grandma and grandpa investing their only little bit of retirement. And so that would be an unaccredited investor.
The boss is out of bed.
And you want to be sure you're thinking about whether you're going to call up your aunt, uncle, neighbor, who might be unaccredited. If you're thinking of contacting unaccredited investors, you need to take specific steps. So answer those questions. Right. Once you answer that, you'll figure out the next steps.
And see step one, if you found your lawyer already, ask him or her what you shouldn't say. Don't go on the internet talking about, look at this deal I just put under contract. It's a screaming deal, and you give some details about the project. You can lose your exemption. You can lose your option. So just make sure you have that plan in place before you go spurting around the internet. Because, oops, sorry. I keep bragging that Tim happened to absolutely accidentally bump on here. It is cool.
Swipe.
Swipe.
He had like 4 emoji though, so I mean,
that was a lot of.
All right, so we got a lawyer, a plan. Number 3, Paul.
1, 2, plan, and 3. What are you going to do with that dough? A lot of folks getting very far into the process. Holy cow! I'm raising money. I'm taking money. I need this placement put together yesterday. What are these lawyers waiting for? We need your plan. We need to know what you're going to do with that money. That should be something you're working with your construction contacts, the folks that are going to run the project after you take over. If you're going to add some value or do some renovations and fix up some units. So you need that. That's a very important part, because an investor should feel confident that you have, 1, a lawyer that can do it, 2, a plan on how to improve and get them some return on their investment, and 3, what are you going to do with their money to ensure that the plan is going to be executed.
Yep.
So Adam, what do you want to add
budgets, any fees you or the company might take? Are there any acquisition fees involved, disposition fees? Those sort of things. You want to disclose all those things to investors. And the important thing is you're telling them everything you know and should know about the project so that they understand it fully. That's the main thing. Cash
is not trash. It's very important. It's also king. Also flows.
Just like that waterfall right there.
Yeah. Oh, Mr. Friedenberg, he's building a platform to help people satisfy their 506B requirements. Well, that's pretty cool. Good job. Tune in to Dan. He'll tell you more about that, I suspect, later.
Paul, we hit all 3. Anything else to add?
More wisdom from the boss. It's so easy to raise money if you just guarantee your investors an outrageous return.
That's okay.
He missed the sarcasm at the end.
I think that zipper.
All day. Hey, that took up. He was in here for a few seconds for sure to type that.
That
wasn't a mistake at all.
That lined up with what we're saying. Weird.
So anyway, so run through it, Adam. What are the 3, just in case anybody doesn't?
Legal representation. Get yourself a lawyer. Have a plan for what you're offering investors. Have a plan for what you're going to do on the project.
That's right. And if anybody has any questions, ask, because we got about 8 minutes before I need to run out for soccer coaching. So
that's right. I think next week, Paul, we should do a little cliffhanger here. Next week, we can talk about basically one or more of the common ways people structure these things in terms of the company structure on a real estate deal, the title owner, company, and then the different players involved.
I'm excited about it now.
Yeah, I saw a little twinkle in your eye.
Oh yeah, there you go. It is Harry's first soccer game. It's my first as Harry's coach, so that's pretty exciting.
Wow.
That's another important thing. Look back, see number 1 for our 3 important pieces. Your lawyer can help you structure these things. He or she is probably, or they should have done at least a few in the past. So make sure you ask them, like, hey, how's this sound? Is this something I'm going to be able to sell to people with dough? If they're like, that seems confusing to me, since I'm the one that has to write it down, that's probably a good sign that you should fix it up. Absolutely do not ever, under any circumstances, guarantee. He came back to earth, people. That's your mentor talking.
This guy knows his stuff.
That's very. Most people think like, oh, I put down that it's a preferred return, a 10% preferred return. It's always a projected return, although it's might have a wink and a nod, because that's obviously everybody's understanding that you're gonna get them their 10% preferred return. But by no means should you ever guarantee a thing, because it's just sticks you in a hole, and you're going to have a hard time digging out if somebody gets upset or Mr. Agent shows up from the SEC or DOJ or whoever might show up. So,
all right, grab your whistle, my friend.
Well, hold on, wait, we got someone that rolled over on their phone and came up with something. So I posted that my first storage site is open to accredited investors yesterday and said, shoot me a DM and I'll get you to the right people. Was that all right? I didn't say anything about returns. Lols. Yeah, Dave, you're doing fine. So one thing we do see a lot around the internet are the internet police, people that apparently run the SEC or can make those calls from home that you're doing something wrong and you're going to go to jail. But that sort of post is okay because, Dave, you and your pals have some wizard lawyers that are helping you out on that storage deal. And you're going to be able to send them a private placement memorandum. And we don't need to get into that boring acronym, the PPM, today. But, yeah, if you post that, since you're doing everything under a 506C, which is accredited investors only, you're going to be in good shape. Now, if you were going to raise from unaccredited folks too, then you probably down the road, if someone were to be mad at you, you will have lost your exemption there, and you wouldn't be able to go the 506B buds and friends exemption because you've advertised it publicly. How'd I do, Adam?
That's great. Yeah, no, that's the only thing. You didn't do anything wrong other than that you can't change course and call up unaccredited investors now on this particular deal.
Yes.
Since you've gone public.
Yep.
Cool.
If nobody else has any questions, Adam, I say we do ourselves a favor, but more importantly, the 6 or 1 viewer a favor and shut this baby down.
Got it down, man. Get out there.
I will say I do like the Saturday morning a little better because I've had plenty of coffee, although it may not look like it, and people aren't sick of kind of thinking about work stuff. So
they're not on the way to the party or the Friday night.
Party.
Yeah. Whatever you do on Friday nights.
Yeah, whatever regular people do. All right. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. If you have any questions, drop them below. We may be able to answer them. And thanks, Kevin, for tuning in. Look, Kevin sent us a couple posts. We appreciate everybody tuning in, paying attention for a minute.
Thanks a lot, folks. See you next week.